seeing the different regions of the kingdom?
Well, first of all, I'd like to express my happiness to be with you here in case A2. And I'm very happy to be here for the first time in my life. I've been here in Saudi Arabia for almost 5 years, but this is my first time to be here in this great event. I'm very happy. I see that everything here is organized, well organized, and as you know, this festival is organized by the National Guard since 1984 or 1985. By the way, I'm one year older than this festival because I was born in 1984, so it's like an incident. I see so many people are very happy here. They dance, they sing, they play music. It's great.
Amazing. So if we talk about the different regions, and we're here broadcasting here tonight from the House of Mecca, and we see a lot of the handcrafts, the old trades that our ancestors here in the kingdom used to do in the past, as well as different authentic foods, and getting to know more about different regions of the kingdom as an expatriate living here in the kingdom. Do you believe that it's an opportunity for you to learn more about the culture and heritage of the kingdom?
Yeah, of course. Let me tell you something that in 2008 I have been to China and I've stayed there for 3 years, and it was very important for me to read about the history of China, the cultures, the traditions of the people, just to get with the people there. And I read a lot about the Chinese history, the Chinese traditions and customs. And the same, you know, if I'm coming to Saudi Arabia, I've been living here for more than 4 years. So I need to know about the culture, the traditions, the customs of this country. I can't go to every city in Saudi Arabia. I've been to Jeddah, Mecca, Al-Madinah, Al-Jawf, Skaka, only these cities, but I didn't go to others. So how can I know about the culture, how know about the traditions of these cities in such a great festival? You know, yesterday at probably 9 in the evening, I was here. I bought some food here. It was fun. Okay, I watched so many people dancing, singing, playing music. As you see, today is the first day for family. Yesterday and the days before were only for singles, you could say. Today is the first day for family, so a lot of people are here. And as you know, this festival expects every time more than 3 million people. I think the year before, in 2014, there were here more than 3 million people.
Amazing. Actually, the organization of the Ministry of the National Guard to organize such a mega event and have all those different regions and welcoming all those visitors that come from all over the kingdom, as well as expatriates who are coming or residing here in the kingdom, and to be able to actually sense the feeling of our ancestors and the different structures of different regions, especially that they took too much effort to bring the actual material they used in the past. For example, here we're in the House of Mecca, we can see rawashin and the decorated windows and the stone houses. So you can actually feel how the people of each region used the environment around them to actually build their houses, a lot of their furniture, a lot of their cooking material. So seeing those different crafts here and different activities here in the Genadriya, that experience to you, does it actually give you more of an idea on how in the past people lived their day-by-day basis activities?
Yeah, of course. That's what we call replicas. Like they have an original copy of the main city, of the original city. So if you come to Asir region or Jazan, you're going to see the city, the buildings, the archaeological sites, everything, even the type of clothes they wear, the food they present to others. You will find everything like replicas, original copy. So you will feel at home. I know that Riyadh is not the hometown of so many Saudi Arabians. I know many people from different cities, from Mecca, Medina, Dammam, Khobar. So when they come here, they can come to the replicas of their city, so they can feel home.
Indeed, actually, and to have this opportunity, and as you mentioned earlier, not that a lot of people cannot travel to all the parts of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the convenience of having such information and traditional acts, even if sometimes if you actually travel to the actual city, and you won't be able to see the traditional dancing or the music as in the way it's manifested here in Janadri. And if we talk about the different activities and what to do and what during your visit here in Janadriya, I believe there's something for everyone. And perhaps if you can tell us your insight as a visitor when you first got here to Janadriya.
It's my first year here actually in Riyadh. As I told you before that I was in Sakak Al Jof. So when I came here, I heard about this festival. So I planned with some of my friends, and we came here. It's just enough to go around the festival. Just keep walking. Have window shopping or something like that. That's number one. Number two, you can buy things. You can eat here, local food. You can watch people dancing. You can listen to people singing. So it's a great event. You can do whatever you want. Even you can stay for a while in a restaurant or something like that. It's fun.
Indeed, actually, it is fun for everyone over here, and especially today that the family days have started, and you can see the focus on different activities for young children, for females as well as there's not far away from here. There's a special house for traditional female activities that how the women of Saudi Arabia used to have some certain crafts of decorating their houses or preparing their clothing. And so if we talk about a little bit about your experience living here in the kingdom and coming to Janadriya and actually seeing some of those structures and different architecture monuments there's towers, there's forts, some of the whales. We see the agriculture section of Janadriya where you can see actually how they use domesticated animals to bring water from whales or to level their fields. So seeing this, you're originally from
Egypt. I'm from
Egypt, and so you have Egypt has a lot of history and culture as well, and to see something like that that emphasized our way of living and our background. Does that what does that makes you feel towards your background and history?
Well, I feel related to this country. I really love this country. At the beginning, after I came from China, I had so many opportunities to go all over the world, like United Arab Emirates or Kuwait or to go back to China. But I prefer to come to this country. I love so many things here. Like you see here during prayer time, you cannot see anything of this. People who are singing, they stop singing. People who are dancing, they stop dancing. Everybody is doing anything, they stop doing that thing, and they go to pray, or who doesn't pray, those who are not Muslims, they stay away, they sit, they can drink coffee, they can have rest. So this is a very good advantage of this country. Another thing is, as you see, they made some days for single and other days for family. So this is like discipline. This is like something good for everyone who has a wife or he has a daughter or mother. So no need to worry about anything here.
Of course not. Thank God we are in a country that was blessed by God, the safety and the way that we feel in this country is an amazing feeling. Alhamdulillah, our wise leadership, and of course thank God, the custodian of the two holy mosques and the Ministry of the National Guard. They do not hesitate of doing anything to maintain the safety and well-being of the citizens of Saudi Arabia as well as the visitors of Janadriya, alhamdulillah. So if we talk a little bit about this, the different ways of displaying the houses here. We see here in the house of Mecca, it's pretty organized, where you can find the old trades and different shops and crafts, as well as the almost like a food court, but with traditional food and the theaters and the actual houses and our studio here. You can see see the furniture that we're using here in our studio. Very authentic. The very simple things, but the attention to details over here is quite impressive, don't you think?
Yeah, they are. When I come here, I didn't visit so many pavilions here. I just visited this one for Yemen and this one and the German pavilion. When you get to any one of them, you find replicas for this place. You find things that are really, like original copies. Food, places, even people who are sellers or like this.
So, since this is your first visit here to Janadriya, and as you said, you just visited a few pavilions.
Yeah.
How are you planning to actually continue your visit here in Janadriya? Do you prefer to go in a random way, or do you prefer to organize your visit, to determine exactly where you want to see?
Well, that's a very good question because I came the last 3 days by myself with my friends, but I'm planning to bring my family here, my wife and my son and daughter here to have fun from the very beginning of the day, maybe at 4 p.m. and we're planning to stay here for late, maybe till 9 or 10.
Well, we are going to move on towards our first report for this evening with my colleague Walid Al-Khamfour, and Walid with you.
And welcome back, dear viewers. Thank you, Azhari. We're currently here, as you see, in Mecca province in the Al-Jadriya Festival. I'm honored to have with me two, of course, of the stars of the I'Qab theaters. First of all, introduce yourself. You're famous as Anta Bishaddad. Tell us about your good name.
My name is عادل. أجسد سيرتي في عكاظ وصاحب معلقة عنتر بن شداد. هل غادر الشعراء من متردمي أم هل عرفت الدار دون توهمي يا دار عبلة بالجواء تكلمي وعمي صباحا دار عبلة واسلمي.
So of course you are Adil Kabi. Mr. Ali is Adil Kabi. He is of course playing the role of Anta Bishaddad, one of the famous, of course, back then in the theater of I'Qab. I'm also honored to have with me Mr. Muhammad Al-Madani, also an actor. So Muhammad, tell us your good name. Which role are you playing?
أنا أجسد شخصية عمرو بن كلثوم، شاعر وفارس قبيلة بني تغلب، وصاحب المعلقة الشهيرة. وأقول في المعلقة: أبا هند فلا تعجل علينا وأنظرنا نخبرك اليقين بأننا نورد الرايات بيضا ونصبرهن حمرا قد روينا ونشرب إن وردنا الماء صفوا ويشرب غيرنا كدرا وطينا إذا بلغ الفطام لنا صبي تخر له الجبابر ساجدين.
ما شاء الله. صح لسانك. What do we say on such a great poem? Of course, he plays the role of one of the famous poets, who used to say poems also back then. The character name, what is it again?
عمرو بن كلثوم.
Of course, he was, as also he's playing the role of Amr bin Kulthum. I'm honored to have you both here on this very special event. And how is the show going so far?
والله احنا يعني دائما عندنا احنا سوق عكاظ اللي هو في الطائف، وانتقل ان شاء الله الى الجنادرية لأول سنة، ومحققين ما شاء الله يعني تقدم كبير جدا أيضا في المسرحية وغيره. يعني ولازم المشاهدين بعد يعرفوا كيف بدأ سوق عكاظ. سوق عكاظ كانت منطقة في الطائف تجتمع فيها القوافل اللي جاية من الشام ومن اليمن، وكان زي المهرجان يقام فيه الشعراء كل شاعر يقول قصيدة له وكالة النابغة الدبياني يحكم القصائد الشعراء ويختاروا الأفضل، ومنها طلعت المعلقات الشهيرة.
Of course, I asked them about how did Suga Akav start, and they say Akav was actually a market back then in Taif province, and where they used to come and say poems, and they were also judged by one of the famous poems who judged them, and then this is how it started, Suga Akav. That's what we have from here, and now we're going to back to you, Azhari.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are still in Genadriya, the House of Mecca, and we will try to bring you as much details and the different events that happens here in the Genadriya festival. But if we talk about the actual House of Mecca and the history and culture that Mecca and the Hijaz region has, it's a very rich culture, especially that there's a lot of people who come to Mecca for pilgrim, and you see the diversity of the different trades and the different shapes and structures of places here. So can you feel this diversity in the House of Mecca?
Well, up till this moment, I didn't move around this city, but I'm planning to do this night, inshallah, and maybe I'll be familiar to it.
Inshallah. So far from the pavilions you have visited, what is your what was more appealing to you? Seeing the actual handcrafts or the traditional music, or is it the actual houses or traditional foods? What was more appealing to you?
I was planning to visit the German pavilion, and I did this. It's like they tell you about the old city in Germany and the modern one. It's very nice. You can also see so many people singing, dancing, doing a lot of activities, even games or like that. I think it's fun here.
Indeed, actually, it is quite impressive the way they have did this layout. Also, as you mentioned, the guest of honor, the Germany pavilion is quite a destination to visit, and we see a lot of crowd actually going towards it. And to see different guest of honor every year, and the diversity of the displays here. It's not only the regions of Saudi Arabia, but also some of the government agencies are displaying, and there's Gulf states as well. So seeing all those overwhelming places and overwhelming sources of information for culture and heritage in Saudi, do you think that one day to visit Genadriya is enough to go around, or do you think that multiple visits is required?
Sorry?
Do you think it's enough to visit one time, or do you need...
I got it. Thank you very much. Well, I think it's not enough because, every time you have so many new things, so when you come every year, it's not that boring. Of course not. It's good. It's interesting. You can come every year, and I know people here, they come here every year, except for the last year because it was cancelled because due to passing out of King Abdullah. But if you come here every year, that will be not that boring.
No, I'm not talking about every year. I'm actually thinking, do you think that one visit during the Genadriya festival is enough or not?
That's not enough, because you have so many things. I think this place, Al Genadriya, is about 1.5 square kilometer, so it's not enough to just pay them one visit. It's not enough at all. You need to come at least 2 or 3 days, as you like it.
Seeing the different cultural clothing, we've seen in the report earlier, there was at the Akkaz market, which is very famous for poetry and different cultures. And having this, there's a lot of literature here. There's a lot of poetry being said, a lot of songs, different ways of living, if you might call it. We can see it in the background there, the fire and the coffee pots, symbol of generosity here in the kingdom. We have noticed, I don't know if you felt the same, But everywhere we have been here in Genadriya, we felt very welcome. The people were very hospitable. They're trying to show us around. They're trying to offer us food or something to drink. So, as a visitor here to Genadriya, were you expecting to pay an admission fee coming in, and you were surprised that it's free?
When I first came here, I was surprised to some extent about the hospitality of people here. That when you go everywhere, you find people that offer coffee or tea or dates, you know, like they say, please come on, sit down, take a seat. Then they offer you many things. Even if you're walking on the street and you don't have a car, you're just walking, you'll find so many people coming close to you and say, hey, come on, I can pay you, give you a drive or something like that. So hospitality here is very, very good. It's one of the merits in Saudi Arabia, and I like it. And I think it's not only in Saudi Arabia, it's maybe you could say in so many of the Arab countries, because it's one of our heritage.
And Islamic values as well.
Yeah, and Islamic values, yeah, you're right.
So if we talk about some of the actual heritage part of the kingdom, where we can see how people used to, for example, on the coast, make their nets for fishing, or they build the boats and the wood, the carpentry, and the different handcrafts that we see over here. There's a lot of it that uses like very simple material and actual gadgets to do this. I personally took a long walk towards some of those handcrafts, and to see how they take this seriously and move it from one generation to another. And Genadriya itself is an opportunity to preserve those handcrafts, and so that we do not lose them. So did you get the opportunity to actually visit some of those places and perhaps buy some of their work?
Well, actually, up till this moment, I've visited very few places. Okay, I didn't buy any artifacts or handmade things, but I'm planning to do so when my family will be here tomorrow. So we will be walking around buying so many things here. And actually, I don't know about the prices. Are they expensive? Or?
No, the prices here is very acceptable. It's not very expensive. It's very reasonable. I think that was taken in actual consideration in Genadriya here. We have met with a few of the officials here in Genadriya, and they actually emphasize that they actually monitor the prices and what is sold to people. Also the hygiene of the food, which is something very important. Things here are very well done. It's being monitored properly, and this is something that we are actually very proud to see. A very crowded festival that has a lot of visitors, yet it's very organized. Everything is available. There's no shortages whatsoever on anything. The service is quite impressive.
Yeah, there are National Guard everywhere, security forces, even local people, they're giving directions like go straight this way, then turn right, you will find so and so and so. So people here are very helpful and cooperative. Everyone is helpful. Nobody here is gonna lost the way.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for your time.
My happiness.
We enjoyed your company. I'm sure our viewers enjoyed as well. And hopefully you will continue enjoying the Genadriya Festival.
It was my pleasure to see you today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are going to move on towards our second report for this evening with my colleague Walid Safour. And please tune with us, and we'll see you shortly.